Guys, let's talk about it. First thing I want to talk about is, did you hear this ignorant statement by a gentleman by the name of Kafuaya? He used to serve as the Minister of Transport during the PF. And people don't realize, they don't know that this guy is where he is because, I mean, he was educated by, if I were to tell you who sent him to school, if I were to tell you who provided and paid for his education, it would shock you. Let me give you a clue. The very person that he disdains, the same man that Kafuaya insults today, is the same man that made sure that he was educated. I mean, there's literally, people are just thankless, aren't they? We're living in a thankless society. It's the truth. Do your own research, but I'm telling you the truth. That man is where he is. He's educated because of you know who. You wouldn't know it because of the way he speaks about the person we're talking about, but that's the truth. Kafuaya served as Minister of Transportation during the PF. He was on a radio station not too long ago, and he was trying to basically say, the people of the Western Province, what is the point of them having an airport? I mean, granted, we know that there are areas, provinces in and around the country that need infrastructure development. That's a given. There are provinces that need more schools, more universities, more roads. That's a given. We know that. Every administration has to deliver that. It doesn't matter which administration comes to the table. The goal is to deliver services to the people of Zambia. So whichever administration steps in, that is their mandate. That's their job, is to do that. But to have a politician belittle the people of Western Province and say things like, even if you put an airport there, what are they going to use it for? After all, they just have Komboka there, and sometimes they don't even have it. Now, it doesn't matter how much Kafuaya attempts to justify that statement, because I know some of you will say, no, what Kafuaya was saying was that there are other things that are needed. We need roads. True. We need more infrastructure. True. No, we need those things. True. But to suggest that an international airport in Western Province for the Lozi people is neither here nor there, because those people, after all, they only have Komboka once. Sometimes they don't even have it. What do those people from Western Province, what do they need an airport for? Now, I find that reprehensible. Nay, I find that repulsive, that a politician in modern day politics would utter such words and try and justify it is just beyond me. Such statements in other countries, that's it, your political career is over. Now in Zambia, we just gloss over such. No, he just said it. Maybe he didn't mean it. Mwewa. Those are inconsequential statements. They are bigger fish to fry. Really? Well, as far as I'm concerned, that's a huge statement that is grounded, that is seeded, okay? Seeded, not seated, seeded. You know the word, the seed? You know, you plant the seed in the ground and then it germinates. Yeah. That is a sentiment seeded, planted in tribalism, incognito tribalism. That's what that is. And no amount of justification will change that. So, in my view, that Kafuaya, and he calls himself a political advisor. I mean, these chaps, they are of the birds of a feather. Kaunda Baleranda, they flock together. You cannot change the spots of a leopard. Ingwena, bane, ingwena. Ya kuchibawla, ya kudia. So don't pat a cake, bake a man. Don't tiptoe through the tulips. Don't justify what is unjustifiable. Kutino Mwewa, you are making a mountain out of a molehill. No, honey, that's a big deal. Okay? And if I were given a chance to drive this thing home, I tell you what, I wouldn't stop talking about that. I wouldn't, because those chaps are tribalists. Pro Max. But I don't mean and some of you, some Mundubile and Makebi Zulu voters or supporters rather, were very upset that Hagainde Hichilema referred to them as boys. They are boys, right? But Hagainde Wakulu Palibed. So you can call them boys because they're younger. I was talking to a gentleman. We were installing bins today right in front of the post office on Cairo Road. And I happened to stop and speak to a gentleman, a black Zambian gentleman who taught in Japan. And he lived in Japan for a while. And he was saying to me that the Japanese culture is amazing because it emphasizes tradition. It has a deep-rooted respect. The Japanese people have a deep-rooted respect for elders. We don't have that here. Muna Muzambia aba ichibala tukabako. Mwa ichefie adi 1970. Yo chifaza iwe. Fuma pa twala kudiringa yo chifaza. Ule itaba kalambati chifaza. You know, I've never understood that. Maybe it's because we were raised differently. I mean, my father and mother, they raised us to respect our elders. I used to say, when I would speak English to my father, I would always say, yes, sir. When my dad would give me an instruction and we were speaking English, I'd say, yes, sir. Not these chaps now. They just insult me. It's really sad. We are losing the essence of who we are as a people. Ooh, that's deep. We're losing the essence of who we are as a people. So it's perfectly fine for President Hakainde Hichilema to refer to Mundubile and the Makebi Zulu kuti boys. So it's perfectly, it's normal. As we say in Zambia, it's normal. What's the other thing I was talking about? Oh, South Africa. Oh my goodness. The black South Africans, those Amazulus, they have, South Africa. I told my wife and the kids, I don't ever want to see or hear any of you get on a plane and go to South Africa. Forget that, man. I've put a line through that country instead of under it. Now, having said that, let me also say there are many reasons South Africa has come to this point. Xenophobia has existed. Xenophobia is this repulsion, this hatred for other black people. It's not hatred for other foreigners. It's not hatred for white people. It's not hatred for Mexicans or Hispanics or people from Venezuela or from the Maldives. No, honey. Xenophobia is black on black crime, black on black hate. In South Africa, they practice, if you're white, all right. If you're black, step back. It reminds me of in the 1970s, Idi Amin, the callous dictator of Uganda, woke up one morning and said, I don't want these Indians here. They control our economy. They control everything about us. We don't even have access to our own wealth. Let's get rid of these guys. Let's put a line through their names instead of under them. Idi Amin gave the Indian people of Uganda 90 days to leave Uganda. And when asked, Idi Amin was asked a question by a white British journalist. Mr. Amin, these 90 days that you have given these Indians, what if they stay beyond the 90 days? Do you remember his answer? In his Ugandan accent, he said, really, if that happened, let me tell you, it will be like they are sitting on fire. If one Indian stay here in Uganda beyond the 90 days, I must tell you this, it will be like they are sitting on a real fire. Passive aggressive, boy. I mean, talk about passive aggressive. And he said it so calmly. And it always hurt me that Idi Amin never answered for his crimes. I mean, he died in Saudi Arabia living a posh, lush life, you know. Anyway, my point is, what is happening in South Africa today reminds me of that era. It reminds me of that time period when Ugandan president dictator Idi Amin Dada. I tell you, when I was a kid, there was a movie that came out about Idi Amin. It was called The Rise and Fall of Idi Amin. It used to play at Plaza 3 and Plaza 2. This was a cinema. These Plaza 2, Plaza 3 were cinemas that were located on, I think that was Cha-Cha-Cha Road. That film put the fear of God in us as Zambians. Let me tell you why. Every Zambian that watched that film walked out of the cinema thinking, thank God we have Kenneth Kaunda who loves us. Thank God Kaunda not only loved this country, he loved the Zambian people. I mean, Idi Amin killed hundreds of thousands of his people, hundreds of thousands of them. And we walked out of the cinema with this sense of fear and appreciation for our president. Fear because we thought, what if Kaunda becomes like that one day? What if we just did not tulala, we wake up in a cold sweat and our parents say, Wuken, balatwipa. Thank God we had a president that was not like that. Thank God we have a president like Hakainde Hichilema, who went through torture when he became the president. The UPND were thirsty for blood. The UPND cadres wanted to kill PF. HH said, no, we don't need that. I don't want blood on my hands. Part of the reason I think HH is like that is because of that legacy of Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. It was a very strange time. And I remember walking out of the cinema thinking, thank God we have KK who loves us. Thank God for that. One Zambia, one nation. One nation, one people. Sokone. I remember that. So here it is, South Africa. Boy, I tell you, those South Africans lost their minds, boy. And the reason South Africa is in the mess that it's in now is multifaceted. Aside from the fact that South Africa as a whole is one of the most violent countries on the planet. I mean, can you imagine that between, I think it was the statistics, you can research this, from 1994 till about 2000 and, I think it was 2003, more than 500,000 people have been murdered in South Africa. It just goes to show you how violent that country is. And one of the reasons for this xenophobic fever is, of course, you know, the black South Africans will tell you that, no, these foreigners, they're taking over our jobs, which is true. No, these foreigners, there are too many illegal foreigners. That's true. And that really tells you something. That tells you that the immigration department in South Africa, they're not doing their job. So the citizens, through organized crime, through organized crime, are carrying out this exercise that is seeing hundreds of thousands of black foreigners leaving South Africa. It means immigration wasn't doing their job. So the South African citizens took it upon themselves. They looked at immigration and said, you jokers are not doing anything. Our country is going to hell in a handbasket, and all you're doing is standing on the sidelines, twiddling your thumbs, holding hands and singing Kumbaya, while this nation is going to hell in a handbasket. So the black South Africans took it upon themselves to eject illegal immigrants. But here's the catch. You have to be black. If you are white and you are illegal in South Africa, oh, that's okay. But oh, if you're Zambian, if you're Congolese, if you're from Nigeria, you're from Ghana, you're from Zimbabwe, honey, we're going to put a line through your name instead of under it. If you're white, it's all right. But oh, honey, if you're black, step back. South Africa. Am I going to South Africa? Never, can't never. Kutibaya kuipaya. Kutibaya kusesange nkoko. Those are my Zulus. Have you seen those Zulus running down the streets over there in Johannesburg, Durban, and soon to be Cape Town, boy? Running down the street. Whoa, 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 whoa. I mean, I shudder to think. Here I am minding my own business, walking down the streets of Johannesburg. And they come down the street, 300, 400, 500 strong black Zulu South Africans. And they're carrying these machetes and reeds and sticks. And they start singing, whoa, 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 whoa. And there I am standing in the middle of the street. Just like us here in Zambia, if I see a black South African, I can tell they are black South Africans just from the way they look, from their countenance and their visage. I can tell this one is from South Africa. I can tell. In the same way I can tell, I can decipher, I can ascertain the origin of those chaps. Even me, where I am, if I'm standing in the middle of the street in the downtown Joburg, and they see me, kuti bansesange nkoko banji paya pyati uyo chitambala oyo wakuntwani kwakumansa udia wakumansa udia is from Zambia. That is a Zambian chap. So you not see the face proper wapula mube mboyo muleteni kuno twalamu sesange nkoko ushe twalamu chitambuino. You can keep your South Africa. I'll stay right here in Zambia. See that flag right there? That's my home. As inadequate as it is, that's my home. We may not be a city or a country like New York, but oh, that's my home. I can go to bed at night knowing that's my home right there. When everything crumbles around me and the world seems to be confused and the noise overwhelms me, I know when the dust settles and when the dew dries, that's my home. Guys, just come back home. Forget South Africa, man. Put a line through South Africa instead of under it, boy. I'm quite. Can't never. And the other, I can. Nakuzimbabwe kwa wamako. Mwati ni South Africa. I'm quite. Kulia chapwa tualeko kuyako. Chapwa. All right. What's the other thing? There was the third thing I was talking about. What was it? Oh, MUNDUBILE Pingila politics. That's all it's about. You know, the more I hear MUNDUBILE talk, the more I realize just how much fluff he's got in his mouth. He's just talking nonsense, mate. When he talks about debt swap, what, in 2026, we're going to be talking about debt swap, something that you tried and obviously failed. It doesn't make any sense, mate. And then they try and come across like they're like a butterfly, you know, a butterfly that's been laying in a cocoon for a while. And they break through the cocoon and they say, oh, we're brand new. We're new people. The old us is gone and the new is here with us. The Word of God simply says, can a leopard change its spots? No. Can an Ethiopian change his or her color? No. Ingwena, ningwena. Yala kuchibaula, yala kudia. It will devour you. Nesta. Yazako. I love KK. I just love him, man. I love him. All right, guys, I gotta go. Got stuff to do, places to go, people to see, boy. Tell you what, gotta go. Love you. Bye.